telling. So what we do throughout the day is keep telling stories to each other, to mother, to father. What I write in examination again is based upon what facts are given on a books or what you have learned it. And I put it across on a piece of paper. And if it is that story is compelling, I'll get good marks. If they are not, I don't get good marks. If that is the case now, gentlemen, that we have just written a book, what we call a Decoding Services Selection Board. Me and my partner have written this book. And I did not know about strength of storytelling then. Though the Panchtantra is supposed to be our oldest story book in the history, in the civilization of the Vishnu Sarma was right around there. He is the person who gave the Panchtantra story. And even Dadi Amma and all the Patkotin, they are really to keep telling stories to the children. Now the Dadi Amma has been replaced by your famous Google Master, and you start looking on your smartphones. But the nearness and the what is that closeness that you had with your grandmother, probably you would not be able to get through the smartphones and other things that they are available. So what we started at that time, we wrote in that story. If you have got a few of the books are lying in your system with your assessor around there. So you'll find there were 8 to 10 stories have written. We call Cliff Young, Ratan Tata, Eagles, Dinosaurs, story of Geese, and all sorts, and we have talked about it. Now I ask you a simple story, simple question. Tell me, would you like to be what you call that a dinosaur or a cockroach? Anyone?
Dinosaur.
What would you like to be? Dinosaur or cockroach?
Dinosaur.
Dinosaurs. Why? Because it's a big animal, isn't it? It's a big animal, and you'd like to be one, isn't it? But the dinosaurs has already died its death. Is no more existence, isn't it? But cockroach and dinosaurs came to the world almost at the same time. But still they are surviving. So what is there? It is not, so that's the story that you have to understand from them if you have to survive. So unless you go through the story of these small stories, you will not be able to clean up your personality and clean up yourself. I ask another question on there. Would you like to be a buffalo or would you like to be a cow? Any boy? Anyone? Anyone tell me? Would you like to be a buffalo or would you like to be a cow?
Buffalo, sir.
Buffalo, yes. You'd like to buffalo. Yeah, very nice. Why do you want to be buffalo? I told that story. Buffalo are supposed to be the animal. They say it is what is the that when storm comes, buffalo has the tendency go inside the storm. As the relative velocity between the storm and the buffalo gets reduced, and the storm just passes over them. Where the cow has got the tendency to run away from the storm. As the exposure of a storm to the cows are going to be much larger, and they would be probably washed away from the storm itself. So that's the reason you must really understand that there is need to understand or convey our thought and feeling that we have got it through the medium of stories, Now, if that is the case now, you will say, what is, I'll come back to you, that is, SSV itself is mere storytelling. Because what you're going to tell to the psychologist writing a story, and a story will only come through your whatever experience you have got in life. And if you are not in a position to learn goodness of the story or goodness moral of the story, you will not be in a position to project yourself. Now, he says, no, in TAT, if a student is confident of himself and his personality, he has the tendency to write a good story with fair complexity. And unless the stories are complex, you will not be in a position to bring out your personality. There should be flow. Stories should flow from A to B, B to C, and C to D. There should be details. There's a positive, happy ending with a specific time consistent and consistent all 12 is not writing a good story, doesn't make any difference. How do you perform from story number 1 to story number 12? That is going to be the deciding factor. So it turns out that most of the personality traits are required to be tested by an officer have to be shown to a session. You may be a good person, but until it is so, we are not God. We will not understand what and who you are. And if you write a good story, good beginning, there's a chemical, then the latest study which are going on, there's a chemical called oxytocin gets released. Okay. And if your story ends up with a good ending, happy ending, then another chemical gets released, they call dopamine. And the same tendency goes on WAT. WAT, there's 60 words are there. Start from a story about word number 1 to write 60 words. If you start writing good sentences, same oxytocin and dopamine gets released. And same is true for what you call SRT. But on the contrary, those who have got a fickle and fragile personality, they would show the what you call mental block, lack of imagination, with lower level ideas. And this indicates another chemical we call cortisol gets released, cortisol. And when you check these personality through 360, through their peers, through their friends, through the teachers, and it found out, it confirms and conforms that their personality is not so good. Now, performance in interview. What do you do in interview? Interview, you are telling about your past. He asks you, tell me about the subjects you like it, the percentage you got it, teachers you liked it, subjects you didn't like it, all such of things from class 10th or probably 8th, depending upon the type of entry that you've gone in. Is it not a history? And if I'm not in a position to bring out my history, talk about my own past in a right manner, would I ever pass? So if you've got a fair credential that you have performed well, you will be bubbling with energy, and you would be in a position to project yourself in the right manner. So it is not only the academic performance is important. Your other than academic, right, maybe sports, extracurricular will also become important. That is what the interest, that is what shows your personality. So if you've got that credential, you will begin with the confidence, and it is almost you will show that you will have good relation with your friends, peers, parents, and all 15 qualities would be shown. On the contrary, same as I told about the psychological test, here also oxytocin and cortisol gets released. Cortisol gets, if you get stuck, you start sweating. You do not know what is to be done. You have got something in your mind, but you are not in a position to project and tell what is really what you are going to say. So same goes with the GTO. GTO is what? GTO does, if anyone have been in a village, they used to, there needs to concrete roads is not there. When you have to cross, there's a lot of mud. You have to put the stones in between and they have to cross over. And it is simple performance of lever. A lever is a simple machine. Where do you press the fulcrum, either in front or the rear, that is what is going to decide either it becomes a cantilever or a lever. And if you can, so it is just the basic fundamental learning from the past, that is what is important. So now the mute question comes into play. Is SSV a mere storytelling? In my sense, yes. In a strict sense, complete SSV testing is a storytelling, as performance is based on past event, past knowledge, and experience. It is story because the way you narrate your story with ample imagination and application decides your success. You will write a good story if and only if your acquired personality is right. Now, I ask a simple question to all of you. Now, SSV is supposed to be personality test. Can any of the girls or anyone tell me what is personality? Please tell me what is personality. Anyone? Bolo bhai. Anyone tell me what is personality? Now you are trying to appear in SSB, your written test you are appearing for, and you must really understand what personality is. And personality cannot develop in one day. It is not mathematical solution that 2 plus 2 makes it 4. Here in personality, 2 plus 2, in my story, in my book which is written, it can be either 22 or it can be 0. So personality development will have to be understood how to go about it and clean up your personality. So what the personality is? Anyone? No? Bolo, kuch to bolo.
So it is the character of a person or the way the person behaves.
Okay.
Or,
Okay. So your tell character. What is the difference between personality and character then? Last time I did try. Yeah.
Character is a behavior displayed by the person when they are put in a certain situation, like how they will behave. If a person is bad character, they are going to behave accordingly. A good character person will take the situation positively and behave accordingly.
Okay. Understand that. You're just getting, there are 3 words there. They call a personality, character, and temperament. All 3 things are very different. We'll take it on whenever we talk about personality, we'll talk about it. Understand, because going for SSB or any interview as a matter of fact, if you want to be successful in life, anywhere you go, SSB is a very trivial part of it, or even services, anywhere you go, personality becomes important. So two things must be understood by all of you. What is personality? And secondly, today we keep on talking about buzzword, it's called emotional intelligence. And these 2 fundamental things must be understood by all. And when you talk about personality, we call it personality disorder. Then we also talk about there's some dark traits, strong traits that last time I did try to talk to you. So personality is something inherent, internal to you, the way you feel, think, act, and behave. Where the character is what the society expects you to. It is a moral development from the societal point of view. And as far as temperament is concerned, the bulk of the temperament is passed on to us through our genetically it's passed on to us. Now, if you are going up to appear in SSB, and if you don't understand what the personality is, would you ever be in a position to make dent? Probably no. Or probably yes. Those who are clean, they do not require any guidance. They would pass of their own. So there is a need for, in our time, today the buzzword is called ocean. Open to experience, C for E for extrovert, A for agreeableness, N for neuroticism. That's a ocean. And these particular words we can talk. So you will talk about your past to IO if and only if you have had a good performance to talk about it. You will do well in G2 if and only if you have learned to use your intelligence to find a solution to a problem and you have analyzed yourself. So that's all. So strategic storytelling has now been enlisted as the change of attitude and behavior by World Health Organization and UNESCO. And everywhere it is being talked about it. So we must learn how to tell good story. We will talk about it later on, but I just wanted to bring the importance of what we call as a storytelling. Okay, any doubt, anyone?
No, sir.
Okay.